Julius Randle was a playoff disaster. Until now, let's not sugarcoat it. Julius Randle was bad in the playoffs. Knicks fans saw it firsthand, and the numbers back it up. His first two playoff appearances with New York were disastrous. In 15 games, he averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, and just under 4 assists. But what those numbers don't show is how inefficient and damaging his play was. He had more turnovers than assists and shot an abysmal 34% from the field from three-point range, just 28%. Every time the playoffs rolled around, it looked like the pressure got to him. His body language was often sulky, and when his shots weren't falling, he mentally checked out. That energy, it wasn't just personal, it spread through the team like a virus. He wasn't just struggling, he was actively dragging his team down when they needed him most. So when Minnesota traded for him, the reaction was predictable. Critics and fans alike were baffled, even angry. Why would you bet on a guy who disappears when the lights are brightest? A trade that broke the internet news hit NBA Twitter. Like a thunderclap, Julius Randle traded to the Timberwolves? For Karl-Anthony Towns, fans went wild. Media personalities called it a disaster. How could you give up a franchise cornerstone, one of the best shooting big men in league history, for a player who had become the face of postseason failure? Towns was beloved in Minnesota. He was the heart and soul of the team. Meanwhile, Randle was being booed off his home floor in New York. The consensus? Minnesota had just thrown away their future. What the Timberwolves saw in Randle, nobody else could understand. It looked like a desperation move, but that narrative was about to flip and fast. From liability to hero, Randle's playoff resurrection. Fast forward just one season, and the story is completely different. Julius Randle, the playoff choker? He doesn't exist anymore. That version of him is gone. In his place is a force of nature who helped lead the Timberwolves to the Western Conference Finals. And he didn't just ride coattails to get there. He dominated against the Warriors, a team known for defense, a team featuring Draymond Green, one of the league's smartest and most tenacious defenders. Randle was the best player on the floor. Not Anthony Edwards, not Clay or Wiggins. Randle, he punished Golden State with physicality, footwork, and relentless energy. He looked confident, composed, and completely in control. The guy everyone once mocked had suddenly become a playoff monster. For a 6'9", 250-pound problem for defenses, what makes Randle so hard to guard? He's built like a truck but moves like a guard. He's 6'9", 250 pounds, and when he gets downhill, good luck stopping him. But it's not just brute force, he's got finesse too. In the Warriors series, he pulled out everything: jab step, jumpers over Draymond, spin moves into floaters, transition dunks, fadeaways off the glass. He was a one-man wrecking crew. His footwork has improved, his handle is tighter, and his decision-making is crisper. You could see him sizing up defenders, reading the help, and executing with precision. It wasn't just strength, it was skill. And when you combine that with his physicality, it's a nightmare matchup for any team. What changed? The shot felony of the biggest shifts in Randle's game is something deceptively simple. His three-point shot started falling. In New York, especially during the playoffs, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from deep. Defenses knew. It sagged off and dared him to shoot, and he just missed over and over. But in Minnesota, that narrative has changed. He's shooting closer to his career average of 35% from three, and that consistency changes everything. Now defenders have to stay honest. They can't go under screens or leave him wide open. It stretches the floor and opens up lanes for himself and his teammates. Suddenly, he's not just a bruiser inside, he is a threat from everywhere on the floor. That balance has unlocked a new level in his game. The season started rocky, very raw. To be fair, it wasn't smooth sailing right away. The Wolves didn't look like a playoff team early in the season. After 27 games, they were 1-for-1-3 and barely hanging on to a play-in spot. Confusion reigned, roles weren't clear. The offense looked stagnant. Even Anthony Edwards, the team's young star, openly said the team had no identity. He admitted they had no real offensive structure, just a bunch of shots going up. Randle didn't look comfortable, the fit was off. And it wasn't just the fans saying that, even opposing coaches noticed. There was no spacing, no flow. It looked like a failed experiment, but the Wolves stuck with it. And slowly, things began to change, finding a rhythm and an identity as the games piled up. So did the chemistry. Randle adjusted his role. He stopped trying to be the alpha every night and leaned into efficiency. He found his spots, attacked mismatches, and focused on making the right play instead of forcing the issue. His scoring dipped slightly, but his impact soared. He started playing real defense, rotating well, boxing out, contesting shots. Next to Rudy Gobert, he became part of one of the league's most intimidating frontcourts, and his partnership with Edwards that blossomed too. They learned to play off each other. Randle drew defenders. Edwards used that space to explode. It became a symbiotic relationship, and the Timberwolves became one of the most dangerous teams in the league. His playmaking is finally getting noticed. Randle's ability to pass the ball has always been underrated. In New York, he was the engine of the offense before Jalen Brunson arrived. He averaged solid assist numbers, but people brushed it off. Now, with less pressure and better spacing, his vision is finally getting the spotlight in the playoffs. He recorded multiple double-digit assist games, including a triple-double. He's finding cutters, hitting shooters, and reading defenses like a point forward. And the gravity he draws, that's real too. Teams collapse on him, and he kicks it out. He's not just creating for himself, he's setting up everyone around him. The Timberwolves aren't just benefiting from his scoring, they're feasting off his playmaking. A two-headed monster in the macking Minnesota now has a true dynamic duo. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle are becoming one of the league's scariest 1-2 punches. Both can score from anywhere, both can pass, both can rebound. And most importantly, both draw attention. When you have two players who demand double teams, who can initiate offense, and who can punish defenses in multiple ways, you become almost impossible to guard. Randle gives Edwards breathing room, Edwards gives Randle passing options. It's not just chemistry, it's synergy. They feed off each other's energy, and it's elevating the Timberwolves to new heights. The NBA got it wrong. This trade was genius in the end. Everyone who mocked the Timberwolves owes them an apology. The NBA world was wrong about this trade. Wrong about Randle, wrong about Minnesota's front office. What looked like a desperate move now looks like a masterclass in long-term vision. Julius Randle has found a home, he's found a role. And he's finally getting the respect his talent deserves. This isn't just a win for Minnesota, it's a lesson for the league. Sometimes, the biggest risks lead to the biggest rewards. And now, the Timberwolves are heading back to the Western Conference Finals with a new identity, a new leader, and a new reason to believe.